Hi, I'm Joseph Elias, founder of Elias Market, featuring a wide selection of international food items and the freshest produce at the lowest prices.
Elias Markets in Allentown and Bethlehem are filled with an ever-changing variety of just-picked fruits and vegetables, tender meats, and deli products. Choose from aisles of international and hard-to-find food and household items. But don't take our word for it. Stop in and see for yourself.
Hello everybody there, and welcome to another segment of Cooking with Mario. I'm Mario DiMartino, the owner of Newburg Deli in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. I am so excited about this episode I'm about to share with you. It's sort of in conjunction with our previous episodes of using olive oil in your cooking, and we just happen to have a great dish today that I think is going to really excite you if you're into pasta or seafood or Mediterranean type cooking. This dish is absolutely marvelous. But let me share this with you. Anybody can do this dish. You just gotta take the time, set the ingredients up, and just have the confidence that you are the master of your own kitchen. With that said, today I'm making a special dish called pesce maricchiere con mezzo rigate. And in English that means basically fish with a maricchiere sauce in a rigatoni that's half cut with ridges in it. So it's a very unique sauce from the Mediterranean region. The sauce originated originally in Naples, outside of Campania, north of Campania in Italy. And Naples is a port, so there's a lot of fish, and they were always looking for ways to spruce up their fish dishes. This sauce is very special to me. This is how you pronounce it. Maricchiara. Maricchiara, okay? And maricchiara in Italian means basically clear ocean. That's what it means. So the whole goal of this sauce is to incorporate it with seafood without making it look like a ragu or a tomato sauce. It's a very unique seafood sauce, and one of its secret ingredients is basil. So the first time I was ever exposed to this sauce was back in 1992. I was on my first trip to Italy, visiting my brother in Rome as he was studying with a university campus. I had spent 7 weeks there, and we had decided that after 88 years we were going to reunite the DiMartino clan, if you will, with our lost relatives. In essence, we were the ones that were lost because we left the old country. But needless to say, we went on a mission to find our relatives. And we were fortunate enough in the province of Abruzzi, near Teramo, to find a little fishing town called Giulianova. And Giulianova is right alongside the Adriatic Sea. And the town mayor did all the research and found out that our family was situated in a particular house and neighborhood. So we met up with the family, and interesting enough, they owned a restaurant called Di Martino Pescatore, and that means fisherman's restaurant. And one day, my uncle cooked up this marvelous dish for me, and it was fresh seafood from the ocean as he picked it himself with a little wooden boat, 6 o'clock in the morning. And he just wowed my brother and I with this dish, and I've never been able to taste that flavor in 25 years. But just a few months ago, a gentleman by the name of Giuseppe Baroni introduced me to the exact ingredients of this seafood dish. And I'll tell you folks, it brought me right back to the region of Abruzzi. And I want to share this marvelous dish with you. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to brown some garlic. So we're going to do that by utilizing olive oil. I have Mario's Newburg Deli hand-picked estate olive oil. We're going to be very generous with this oil in this case. I know you might think this is expensive, but you're worth it, and the flavor's there, and it's a key ingredient. Remember that cooking with olive oil concept? That's where we're at. This sauce is an aggressive sauce in that it's going to reduce on 2-3 different levels and tiers of production. So we're going to get that oil kind of cooking. In the meantime, over here in this other pot, we have some tomatoes that are being blistered. I can turn them off right now. They seem to be done. There's a reasoning why we're going to use tomatoes to be blistered. And we have pasta cooking over here, which is the mezzo rigati, or half rigatoni with ridges. We've turned off our tomatoes. We're going to let them steep a little bit. Our oil is starting to come up to par. We're going to get our garlic. I know you say, well, you use a lot of garlic in your cooking. Well, I'll tell you what, it's the flavor, it's the health, it's the ethnicity So getting that garlic going real good is your first objective. Okay, it's actually almost done. You only need about 30 or 40 seconds, so less than a minute on the garlic. In the meantime, I'll put this fish aside for a second. In the meantime, we're going to take these tomatoes out, and we're going to go to the sink, and we're going to give them a light rinse with cold water. We blistered them for a reason. Now what you want to do is you want to use tomatoes that are really tomatoes. You don't want the hothouse tomato effect. You want to use tomatoes that are vine ripened, bursting in red, juicy flavors. You're going to take them out, and you're going to take the skins off as quickly as possible without burning yourself. It's a little bit of tedious task, but it's worth it. You don't really want to use canned tomatoes in this application. Your next goal, fillet the tomato. And in this case, you want to fillet the outside of the tomato. You're only going to use the outer flesh of the tomato for really nice ripe tomatoes from the garden. Now your goal with the tomatoes, which is a pomodoro in Italian, and a pomodoro really means apples of gold. So Italians esteem the tomato as an apple of gold, is to make a filetto di pomodoro, just of the flesh. Okay, the outer flesh. This is where you're going to get that clear ocean look from without utilizing all the seeds in the center and getting the full effect of a robust marinara of sorts. It's a light ocean color. So you're making a filetto. Now I'm going to dice across the grain with those tomatoes, tiny, tiny chunks. Excellent. Now after we dice those tomatoes, we're going to get our basil into the mix. So we're going to put our basil there, and you don't want to brown the basil. You want to add a little wine to keep the basil supple. Your next ingredient is going to be roughly 2/3 of a stick of butter. The recipe I'm showing you today is going to be able to feed 4 very hungry seafood lovers. So we've got the basil, we've got the garlic, we've got the butter reducing. It's a very aggressive sauce. There's a few stages of reduction, like I said before. In some recipes, I saw a guy actually put some chicken stock in there. I wasn't a big fan about that because I think he crossed the cooking rules with chicken stock. So chicken and fish didn't seem good to me. But the original recipe from ancient Italy calls for actually a fish stock. In this case, I do have fish present. Don't have a fish stock. Hard to come by. So I'm going to use, believe it or not, some vegetable stock. I'm not talking about MSG vegetable stock. I'm talking about a pure vegetable stock you get from a provisions company or even at the supermarket. And it's just derived strictly from carrots and celery and cauliflower and all those special things. So you want to put about a half a teaspoon of vegetable stock in there. You keep the white wine kind of going. Now we have fresh parsley into the mix. And before you know it, we're going to be cooking down some of the seafood. Which brings me to a seafood preparation section of this meal. In this case, I'm using a beautiful codfish or bacala. I'm also using calamari and some shrimp, like they did in the Mediterranean. Your goal with the fish is to have larger chunks so you can portion it out to your guest. I would say chunks that are, maybe 2 to 3 inches in diameter. They're going to be a little harder to cook, so you're going to have to put that fish in first. Okay? In this case, I got 2, 4, 6. I got 8 pieces for 4 people. Sounds about right. And place them gently into the mix. You're going to add your tomatoes. You could turn up a little bit. You're looking for a thicker sauce. You don't want a watery sauce in this instance. Need my trusty bacala spoon that grandmom used to have the Board of Education with. Everybody remembers that spoon. Okay? You're going to turn the heat up a little bit. You want nice reduction on that maricchiera sauce. Bring it around with that garlic, with that basil, that parsley, and you're trying to reduce that tomato sauce, the tomato down to a clear. We're trying to get that clear ocean effect from the Mediterranean. It looks like we're almost ready to add our other fish. Normally we have, if I may touch this, we have calamari. Nobody wants to eat calamari that's stringy like spaghetti and biting all these octopus knuckles. So I've taken the same calamari and I've diced it in small petite pieces that are more favorable to eat while you're involved with this dish, and it just makes it more appetizing. You want to put the calamari in there as well. Himalayan salt is always a friend of there. Got to salt your fish. By the way, that calamari soaked for an hour and a half in salt and warm water to get away that real pungent seafood, squid effect, if you will. A little bit of cracked black pepper is good. And I also put a little zing in this for me. My family likes a little zing, not too much. This is for general purposes. Everybody could take a tiny bit of heat. So a little zing right there. We're going to mix that calamari around. We're trying to get that mariquera bouquet look there to it. The fish is reducing. The calamari only takes about 3 to 4 minutes when it's on high steam or high saute. It's working good now, folks. It's looking real good. You're going to love this dish. This dish is really an ethnic delight in Europe. It's very hard to find this in America. I did a lot of research, and there's not many chefs that know how to make this. And it's so different than your bolognese, your scampi, your Alfredo, or your French dishes. Now I've added the shrimp there. They're deveined. These are organic shrimp. And a lot of this product and produce that I have is made possible by our sponsor, which is Elias Market. And they have Elias Markets right here in the Lehigh Valley. They've been in business for literally decades. They have 2 convenient locations, and one is on Tillman Street in Allentown, and the other is on Nazareth Pike in Bethlehem. And I'll tell you folks, if you want produce or international ethnic foods, this is the place to go. They have all these exotic fruits and produce and all sorts of side dishes and interesting ethnic meats to buy. It's really the place to go if you like something other than a traditional, supermarket for your produce. And they're super friendly, and it's a family-oriented place. I just love those people. They treat us well here at Deli, and we're just grateful to have the relationship. With that said, the mariquera is reducing just nice. And, we're almost ready to plate out, folks. I'll tell you, this is not a hard sauce. But it's a beautiful sauce that's so unique that you're going to wow your guests with this sauce. They're going to think that you're some sort of, Julia Childs of Italy or sorts. And, anybody can make this sauce. I tell people, con la pratica si fa tutto, means with a little bit of practice, you can accomplish anything. So the mariquera sauce is just about ready. In this case, we're going to get a large spoon. We've taken some of the water from the pasta for a thickening agent with the starch, if you will. We're going to put enough pasta for 4 people in that dish. Okay, 4 people in that dish. I'm trying to work it over here so I don't burn it. I don't want to reduce it too much. And I'll tell you what, folks, once it's almost done like this, what you want to do is you want to top it off with some of that good organic olive oil again. Ready to turn off because your seafood is done. It's looking kind of nice. Looking kind of nice. I keep dropping these things here. Looking kind of nice. I think we're just about ready to plate up for this beautiful dish. Pesce mariquera con mezzo regate. Ready, folks? There she is. Absolute delight. Coming from the Mediterranean part of Italy, brought right to your home by Cooking with Mario. And folks, this dish, you'll pay a lot of money in the store for this kind of dish, but you can make it at home. This whole dish costs no more than about $20 to make. So you could feed 4 or 5 people for about $20 at home if you learn how to make this recipe. I know I didn't give you all the ingredients, but go to the website, and I'm sure I'm going to post that pretty soon, and we can talk more about some of these favorite dishes with olive oil. In this instance, we're going to top it off with some pretty garnish, a little bit of pretty garnish, parsley, fresh, and a little more Christmas tree color. Folks, there you have it. Pesce marichiara con mezzo rigate, one of my absolute favorite dishes. I've decided to make this a signature dish at my new restaurant at Newburg Deli. I hope you join us. And again, we thank you for the folks at Elias Market for their sponsorship and their partnering in my cooking endeavors. I wish you all the best. Look forward to seeing you at next episode. God bless you.
Hi, I'm Joseph Elias, founder of Elias Market, featuring a wide selection of international food items and the freshest produce at the lowest prices.
Elias Markets in Allentown and Bethlehem are filled with an ever-changing variety of just-picked fruits and vegetables, tender meats, fresh seafood, and deli products. Choose from aisles of international and hard-to-find food and household items. But don't take our word for it. Stop in and see for yourself.